Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Nishami Narif, AI Wali. Today we are going to review a very interesting TED talk by Jeremy Heimans called What New Power Look Like. This talk is about something we all experience in our daily lives, but may not always recognize the way power is changing in the modern world. Jeremy Heimans explains the difference between what he calls old power and new power. Old power is usually controlled by a small number of people or instructions. New power, on the other hand, is created through participation, collaboration, network, and the collective action of many people. The TED Talk was originally presented at TED Salon Berlin in 2014 and run for about. So let's start the main idea of this talk and see why they are still relevant today. What is old power? Let's start with the idea of the old power. So, old power is the traditional model of leadership and authority. Think about a traditional company. There is a CEO at the top, managers below the CEO, and employees below the managers. Information usually moves from the top to the bottom. The people at the top make decisions, and everyone else follow those decisions. Jeremy describes this kind of power as something that is feel like a currency. In simple words, only a few people have it and they control how it is used. We can see this model in traditional governments, large organizations, traditional media, and many older business structures. But the internet changed the system. Today, millions of people can communicate, organize, create content, raise money, and influence decisions without waiting for permission from a traditional authority. And this brings us to the idea of new power. What is new power? According to Jeremy Heimans, new power is based on mass participation and peer coordination. This means that instead of a few people control everything, many people can participate is creating something. One of the most important idea is the talk, the difference between old power and new power. Old power tell people what to do. New power allow people to contribute, participate and create. For example, imagine a traditional newspaper, a small group of journalists create the content and millions of people read it. That is closer to the old power model. Now compare that with platforms where ordinary people can create and share content themselves. Millions of people can become creators, commentators, reviewers, educators, or activities. The audience is no longer just an audience. The audience can become part of the system. That is one of the biggest change Jeremy is trying to explain examples of new power. Jeremy uses examples such as Airbnb and Uber to demonstrate how new model can challenge traditional industries. Uh, that is participation. Airbnb is another example. Instead of a traditional hotel company or owning every property, a platform can connect people who have available spaces with people looking for the important point is not simply the technology, the important point is the network of people behind the technology. Social media does not automatically mean new power. This is one of the most interesting part of the talk. We might think that having Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, another social media account automatically means we are using new power. But Jeremy says that is not necessarily true. A social media platform can still be used in an old power way. For example, a company can create a Facebook page and simply broadcast advertisement to its follower. And To conclude, Jeremy Heimans, What New Power Look Like is a powerful TED Talk about the changing nature of influence and leadership. The central message is simple. All power is controlled by a few, while new power is created by many. But the real challenge is not simply choosing between old power and new power. The challenge is learning how to combine leadership, expertise, participation, technology, and community in a way that creates a meaningful results for students, teachers, leaders, and anyone living in today's connected world. This idea is extremely valuable because today you don't always need to wait for someone to give you power. Sometimes you can create power by building community, sharing an idea and getting people to participate. And perhaps the biggest lesson from this TED talk is the future does not belong only to those control power. It also belongs to those who know how to share it. Thank you for watching.